Greetings, I'm Doc V. And we've been talking about Maslow's need hierarchy, and we've been spending a lot of time on the bottom. Physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging. But I need to talk to those that have a good foundation and you're trying to figure out how you can bust into self-esteem and self-actualization. Before we do that, I want to share a little bit of some music talent with you. I want to talk about level 4 and 5. Before I begin there, I have a story I would like to share. I had graduated from college and my confidence was real high. I got my degree and I felt that the sky's the limit. Dad taught me about discipline, about working hard, about dressing nice and speaking nicely, and don't hang with the wrong crowd and don't act like a fool. And I got that down. I saw some of the brothers, they played a lot. Some of them got in trouble. Some of them failed, flunked out of school. Some of them were dealing with drugs, running around with good girls or young women. And I tried to stay focused. I was raised up in the church and I was trying to stay focused. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make it. I'm going to get through these obstacles. Nothing's going to stop me. Well, I want to share an incident that happened to me. This incident happened. I applied for this job and it was a sales position. And when I went in for the application, there were several applicants coming in trying to get the job. And I noticed that there were very few African-American applicants. Very few. When I looked at the company and toured the facility and met some of the employees, I think I saw a couple of black men working in the mailroom or working in receiving and shipping, but there really were no blacks in administration. So to make a long story short, I was hired. I came in sharp. I was hired. They said, we think that you're going to be a positive addition to our team. And we want you to come to our new training program that we're having. We're bringing in the greatest sales team that this company has had since its birth about 5-10 years prior to. These sales people that are coming to you have broken records. They've sold, they've brought the company to new heights, and they're set and on the path to make multiple six figures this year. And if they stick with the companies, they will be millionaires. They're coming from out west, and they're coming to speak with you all. And you, Mr. Shores, Mr. Vaughn Shores, we are happy to announce that you will be a part of this team. You will be a part of this team, and the training is going to take place. It's going to start next week. Bring your best suit, bring your best attitude, and welcome to the team. I said, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Shook his hand. I said, thank you. So that week was coming up. I'll never forget it. I had a dark navy blue suit, white shirt, red tie. Back then I had hair. No facial hair, maybe just a mustache. Hair was trimmed, might have had a few waves going through there, you know, back in the day. This is in my 20s. I was all excited about this position and got in my car. It was about quite a bit of ways from the house, maybe about an hour and a half, but I got there. Nice, tall buildings, cars parked all over the lot, people getting out of the cars, dressed sharp, men and women, and I was going to represent myself, my family, my dad, and my people positively. So I got out of the car and I started, getting myself prepared. This is it. This is it. Dad's going to be proud of me. This is it. I noticed a van or SUV in the distance, and 4 white folks stepped out of the SUV. 2 women and 2 men. Now, me being a musician, I had a sharp ear, and it was quiet. A lot of people had already gone in. They had come in late. And for some reason, the sound was just bouncing just right, and I heard what they were saying. They were looking at me and talking to each other, and they said, there's a spook. They used the N-word. It's a black monkey. What is he doing here? The little baboon boy. And part of me was angry and wanted to go Bruce Lee, Jet Li, Muhammad Ali, wanted to start beating and kicking, but I was raised better than that. Had more wisdom than that. I said, I can't believe this. So I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm going to go to this meeting. I'm going to sit up in the front, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to be one of the best salespersons that they ever had. Black, white, male, or female, young or old. I'm going to prove to them that I'm somebody, that Dad taught me right, that God has got me, and that I'm going to do something. So anyway, they had the music playing. They had all the people giving accolades to everybody and the great sales that the company has risen to. And they were talking about the potential of the future potential, the future financial potential of one plugging into this company at this time. And I was just beaming. I was like, yes, I'm going to represent. I'm going to do this thing. So he said, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've celebrated. We've sang songs, we've passed around snacks, we've had dinner. Now I'm going to bring out for you the greatest sales team that this company has produced since its onset 10 years ago. And they're going to be coming out to you. And can we stand and give a great applause for, then they named their names, John, Renee, Malcolm, Joseph. And they came out and they had their hands up and they were waving. Everybody was hollering and clapping and screaming. And I looked and I said, I'll be doggone. The 4 people in the parking lot that were calling me the injure word. You know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say it on this recording. Calling me monkey, spook, baboon boy. What is he doing here? It was the same people that were the top sales people out west that were brought in to train us, to train me, and to lead us to be great business people and salespeople for that company. the same people. And I played it off. I represented well, kept my chest out. But the impact of that to my core, to my confidence, to my realization of this battle that I'm really in, it hit me. Oh, it hit me. I went through the program. I played it off. I listened to what they had to say. I took notes. I was given my briefcase and my supplies and my contacts and my sales quota. And I got to work. But to make a long story short, that job didn't last long. That job didn't last long. I felt a cloud of, why am I here? What is really going on? Was I hired to meet some kind of quota, or they really see something good in me? To make a long story short, that ended. I applied, and I was able to get another job close to downtown Atlanta, and it was a copy center job. Back before technology took an upswing and they kind of went and diversified into some other areas. And I was working hard, representing, and again, I was the only African American in that company in a decision-making position where I could determine quality control and the product before it went out into the customer. And one day while I was working, they brought a young man in for me to train. This young guy. At the time, I was probably in my late 20s, early 30s. They brought this young man in for me to train. He looked like he was no more than 17, 18 years old, a little white guy. So I trained him, taught him the computer programs, taught him the facilitation of the product and how to properly gauge it and put it in the package form where it can be delivered, how to do it expeditiously, and how to do it correctly, and how to do it with professionalism. They came in after training for about 2 or 3 weeks and they thanked me. And then I turned around and they put this young 18-year-old who just earned his GED. He failed to graduate from regular high school. And they put him over me in that office that I was working in. They had me train him. Just got his GED, 18. I'm like 32 years old. They put him over me. Maybe I was 29. I think I was in my late 20s. They put him over me and I was like, I'll be doggone. So he's running, calling shots, telling people what to do, and I'm working and I'm sitting here and I couldn't take it. I said, I need my job, rent's due, car notes due, I need some groceries. But every time I looked at the young man, I didn't hate him. Didn't want to fight him. I take that back. I didn't hate him, but I did want to fight him. I'm sorry. Lord, forgive me. Anyway, I became angry and I became frustrated and I said, Lord, how can I break through this situation? What can I do? So what I did is I did some canvassing and I found an area, a black community which represented the metro Atlanta area. And I found a place and I canvassed them and I asked them what their needs were. I surveyed how much work they were needing to print, what they needed to do. And to make a long story short, I put together a proposal. This proposal was at least 50 pages. I documented where the company was. I documented how we would be able to supply their needs and how much this particular department would make with me being the manager of the department. I didn't ask for a raise. I didn't ask for anything special. I just asked to be, once I started this particular department, once I began this particular module, once I initiated it and got the contract with the churches and the communities of that area, they would just let me manage it. That's all I wanted. Pay me whatever the manager's salary is so I can get out from under this young man that I trained and be put somewhere where I could be effective, make the money for the company, and do something for myself. I turned it in, gave a copy to my boss, gave me a copy to the supervisor. I didn't know that this was the biggest mistake I could have made at this point. So I waited a day, waited 2 days, 3 days, I think a week went by, and finally they called me into the office. And they told me that I was terminated. I was fired. And I'm like, well, why was I, what happened? What did I do? They said one of the jobs that were put together, they were put together incorrectly and it cost us some money. The client was upset and they said that it was your fault. I knew right at that time that arguing was not going to help. Going off was not going to help. And I realized that I overstepped my boundaries. I overstepped my grounds. And what I want to say to you now, men, young and old, there are some jobs you need not apply. There are some positions that the door is not going to open for you because of who you are. There are some pathways to success that might seem obvious and simple, and you just work hard on step 1, you work hard on step 2, you work hard on step 3, and then step 4 and 5, boom, you bust out, and you're at your point of self-esteem, self-actualization. But what you must realize is that there are some forces put together that want to hold you back, that are intimidated by your presence, just because of your race. Well, some of you are probably saying, well, everything is not based on race. I mean, look at how many people we have in the NBA. The NBA is 75% black. The NFL football is 57% black. Blacks only make up 13.6% of the US population, but they make up 70 and 80 and 90% of basketball and football. So all companies are not prejudiced or not racist. I'd like to tell you something right now. Teams want to win, and winning means money. Winning means money, esteem, prestige, recognition, and more money. If you take blacks out of professional sports, as long as you take them all out of all the professional sports, then it's still nothing much is going to change as far as the win-loss. But let me tell you, that team that decides that we don't want any black people on this team, we don't want any black people on this basketball team, we don't want any black people on this football team, guess what? They're not going to win. They're not going to make it out of preliminaries. Their record's going to be like 3-26. It sounds that I'm being racial, it sounds like I'm being classist, that I'm being discriminatory, but no, I'm talking about facts. Before you can move into a particular position, before you can move into a particular job, before your worth can be appreciated above the intimidation of your presence, there must be a strategy, there must be wisdom, there must be patience, and you must believe that God can make a way out of no way. God can open up a pathway of success that people didn't even see coming. Do you think that the wider, W-I-D-E-R, society really thought that the 44th president, Barack Obama, was going to win? Do you think that if they thought that there was a chance that he would win, they would have set the barriers to block that? But because it was God's divine purpose and will for this to happen, the blinders were put on and they didn't see him coming. They didn't see Oprah back there funding and other people, millionaires funding, and Obama coming around and his Michelle, his wife, supporting him. They didn't see it coming. By the time they saw it coming and their votes went in, it was too late. We had the first black president of the United States of America. And that we live in a situation where the path that looks clear, it might not be clear. There might be snares in the way. There might be people that see you moving up the mountain, moving up Maslow's hierarchy. And they're like, I don't know if we need him to, I don't know if we need this to happen. But I say to you, be strong, be consistent. Be strong, be consistent, be vigilant, don't give up. Trust the Lord. And the obstacles that you see, the obstacles that are in the way, the obstacles that you don't know how they got there, they will clear. And you trust the Lord. And he'll make everything all right. Never give up. I'm Doc V, and I'm gonna see you next time. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. I'm Doc B. See you next time.